Hello. Who's here? Oh, hi, Renee. Oh, gosh. Why does this have a room thing? How do I? Hi. I don't know how to turn off the room thing. Oh, you're muted.
Muted. I'm just talking. Yeah, I don't know either. I've never used that.
Let me.
I can try and Google it real quick.
Well, it's in. I think it's a preset that I might have.
Oh, like when you make the link type thing.
Yeah, let me. No, whatever. I'll just pay attention when people are here. It tells me Renee is waiting. Let her in.
Nice. How was your yoga class?
It's good.
Good.
Yeah. I don't know. You can ask Jamerica because she came to my class, so that's cool.
Oh, that's awesome. I'm sure it was great.
Yeah.
Was it in person or online?
Online.
Okay.
This is my first batch of almond milk.
Ooh, how is it? You like it?
Good. I mean, I ran it twice so that it wouldn't be watery.
Oh, nice.
I didn't put anything extra in it, but I think I'll put like 2 dates like I usually do with the coconut and maybe like a pinch of salt. But this is, I mean, for what it is.
That's awesome. I really need to look into one of those.
I feel
I've
bad.
been seeing them because I looked them up. You know, they pop up on the ads now, like when I'm on Facebook or anywhere. It's like all over the place. I'm like, okay.
Yeah. Shoot. I don't know if anyone else is going to join. So Jamaica should be joining.
Okay.
And I wonder if she was on it and actually went to the other meeting, which is, I had that one as a standing meeting, but it doesn't pop up for me anymore.
Oh, gotcha.
Oh, and this is recording. Hi. Hi.
Oh, hi.
How's that? Hello and welcome to this awesome, late, but perfect check-in. Just about to begin week 5 of 40 Days to Personal Evolution. We just completed week 4, which was all about restoration. And we had our fruit feast. So let's start with just the check-ins. My name is Michelle. Right now I am feeling cold, excited, flustered, and happy. And my high point for this week was getting my almond cow in the mail, making my own coconut milk, my own almond milk, and realizing that I can also make stuff with the pulp. That just made me so excited. And my low point was on the same day that I received my almond cow. I spilled my 3rd fruit feast breakfast on my on my sheets, not once but twice, and then got it all over my pillows, and then I burnt my hand, and then I went and bought a cleaner, a lemon enzyme cleaner to get rid of the stain. And as I was pouring it on the stain, it got on my burn. So then I got a chemical burn on top of the boil burn. And it was just like amazing. It was such a great turn of events. It made me laugh every time though. So even though it was my low, it was a belly full of laughter. And that's it. I will popcorn it over to Jamerica.
Thank you, Michelle. Hi, everyone. I'm Jamerica, and today I'm feeling tired, contemplative, a little anxious, but determined. I'll start with my low light. I want to say this week, I just felt like I just wasn't consistent. Like usually I'm on top of things, but I just felt like I kind of dropped the ball this week. But With that being said, a highlight of my week was I shared a really vulnerable post on social media talking about the grief that foster children and even alumni, those who've left the system, feel. And oftentimes we don't recognize grief in those who may be marginalized or in children. And I just said it was on my heart, and like the post was like shared like 30 times and reached like 5,000 people, and people saying, you said everything that I've always wanted to say but didn't have the words. And people saying, in order to destigmatize the system, we have to share people's perspectives. And so um, I was like, doing this challenge really has awakened that vulnerability in a sense. And so that was definitely a highlight for me.
Mm. Thank you.
Mhm.
Did you say your low? Oh, okay, your low was, got it. Okay, the consistency. Okay, and Renee?
Hi guys, Renee, and I'm feeling optimistic, energetic, and excited right now. My low this week, I don't know, I'll go with that first. It's been kind of a challenging week with several different things in my life. Ran smack into a wall on the last day of our fruit feast. I don't even know what happened. I turned around and the wall was right there. I don't know. And then, my husband out of town and coming back, and he was in quarantine for a while, and just the transition was also a little, iffy, kind of having him gone and then back. And then my high this week, I guess, enjoying the fruit feast and actually getting through it, and like having that satisfaction of being like, wow, I did it, and just feeling confident or, happy, that I did it. So, yeah.
Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you both. So let's talk about that fruit feast and how we all felt. I didn't do the additional questions that were available to us. I'm curious if anyone did do that.
Which questions are you?
There was an additional optional questions that are from the Baptiste Vinyasa Institute.
That were up on the attachment or something that you said.
Mhm.
No, I did not.
No worries. Okay.
I forgot about that.
I didn't see that. I just did the excavation questions, Michelle.
Okay, and yeah, we'll do those soon. So for days 1, 2, and 3 of the fruit feast, if we can remember, I know it's probably a little foggy. Do you guys remember feeling any kind of way, day 1, 2, or 3?
I would say for day 1, I was just kind of like, okay, let's get everything that we need. I would say day 2, it was still fine. What really helped was my husband was willing to do it with me. And so that was cool. The third day, I would say that evening, it felt, that's where I started to feel things, where I just felt a bit more light. I would say tired, but a bit more light. And Thursday, I tried to go to the gym and do karate. And it was just like, okay, maybe I shouldn't have done karate this week because it's so high performance and requires a lot of focus. Whereas even though I was doing the yoga, it's it's a different type of focus, and it's not as physically strenuous. Not that it's not as like high impact, it's definitely impactful, but I would say though I felt light, I felt good. I've actually lost weight since doing this challenge. Actually threw on my bridal shower dress and it was very loose in the ab section. And so I was like, oh, so yeah.
Yeah, that's great. So I noticed the same thing with my body, that when we're doing these fruit cleanses and fruit feasts, it's very much like you just lose all of that inflammation that food is causing in your body, and where we feel like we are thinner, and we may also lose weight, and a lot of it is just water weight caused by our body holding on to things, retaining things because of the way that we react.
What is this called?
Riff Wireless.
Sorry.
And So yeah, I love that you experienced that as well. I'm curious if your husband had any observations during this time as well. If he has anything to share about that, I'd love to hear as well, since he wasn't doing anything, I'm guessing, leading up to, but just this portion, like, how did that feel to him?
He said the food was good. That's always for him how it tastes. And yeah, he didn't add any salt or anything because I told him he didn't have to do it exactly like me. He's like, oh no, it's just fine. But I guess he felt fine. He says he can tell I'm getting more toned,
Hmm.
which has always
Yeah.
been a long-term goal of mine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. Cool. Renee, how about you, besides walking into a wall on day 3?
um, so on Sunday, I kind of went into it. It was my birthday Saturday, and so my best friend came over on Sunday, and she, brought us some dinner and brought me a gluten-free ho-ho cupcake, and I couldn't turn it down, so I ate that. So
Okay.
then on Monday, I was feeling the sugar hangover because I don't eat much sugar at all anymore,
Mhm.
and especially through this program, I haven't been eating it. But so I felt a little foggy, pretty on Monday. But I enjoyed all the fruit and I could tell that my body was starting to flush stuff out. And then same on Tuesday, I had more energy, I was clear headed again. And then on Wednesday, that's when I started to feel like a little bit on the weak side again. I made it through my yoga after I ran into the wall. I just wasn't fully awake at that point, I guess. I was more tired, like wanting to sleep a little bit more, but still getting up. And then, I made it through the day. I was proud of myself. And then on Thursday, after I noticed I was tired, like just really weak. Like I couldn't do my normal practice in the morning. I needed to be gentle. I did more of a yin restorative flow and like a lot of extra stretching. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Thanks. Yeah, I felt the same. Like Wednesday, the third day, I was so clumsy. That was my low day. Um, and I think I also lost a little bit of momentum and desire to like keep making foods. I think because I ran out of tomatoes, I was like, well, what now? And I didn't want to go buy more food because I still had fruit. And I was like, but that's not what I wanted. Next time I know I'm gonna like double up or triple up on tomatoes and like be ready for that, because it's definitely, having those soups really makes me feel comforted. um, and Thursday I had to sleep in the morning. I had to go back to sleep because it was so, I felt drained because I didn't eat enough on Wednesday. And like, we're already not eating a lot of food because it's just fruit. And then Thursday, I was like, I don't even know how to make breakfast anymore. Like, I don't know what this is. Luckily, pancakes are just add water to mix and make them. So I did that so I could eat something before going to bed and hopefully wake up a little more restored. But it was really hard. And I hadn't experienced that before, maybe because I was at home, and the other years I've been at the office. So I would always prepare everything and take it with me. And this time I'm like, oh, it's fine. I'll just whip something up. So it just shows, like, as we prepare for something like this, being mindful of knowing what we're going to eat the next day is probably the most important to keep ourselves consistent with the practice.
I'd be curious to know, that anybody feel like they saw a change in their physical appearance? I know for me, my skin just felt like a lot more vibrant.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, wow. And like my eyes more wider. And when I was reading through the book, I saw that others from Mr. Baptiste's retreat felt the same way.
Yeah. On Thursday, I woke up and I was like, dang, I feel super thin. And I'm like, I need to put muscle on my body. And so for me, it was like, I also, even though I eat healthy, there must be something that I'm eating that isn't as healthy, or maybe too much salt or I'm guessing it's salt or flavorings that I add. And so that really helped reduce any inflammation and any bloating. And I was like, wow. And I'm also like mid cycle for me right now. So I should be extra bloated, but I felt thin. I was like, what? um, But then I realized, okay, now I see my body for what it is and I want it to look stronger. So it did open my eyes in a different way that I hadn't seen myself that way since I was maybe 13. So yeah. How about you, Renee?
I definitely noticed the inflammation coming off. So yeah, I didn't notice my eyes. I was hoping, I was like, are they gonna change? And then my face actually started breaking out. But I think that was it always breaks out during like mid-cycle and then during my cycle. So it was, I think that's what it's kind of connected to.
Mm,
But maybe, I mean, I did notice when I drank like smoothies that were too sweet for me, I did get that brain fog. So I'm wondering if like maybe I was eating too many sweet fruits or I don't know. So
mm,
be interesting to try it again and like figure out like what exactly is,
yeah.
connected to.
And that this is something you guys can always do on your own now that you know how to do it. Anytime you need to reset yourself, if you're like, oh gosh, but this doesn't mean go eat pizza and then fast for 3 days, right? So it's not like a cure-all, fix-all, but it is to bring your body back to awareness when you feel like you don't have that. Um, great. So I love it for that, for just bringing awareness to things that I already thought I was taking care of, but I'm like, there's always something else we can do. Awesome. And then yoga, I'm guessing, was great for everyone this week. Hopefully you guys did more yin than anything else. And meditation, were you guys able to do all of your meditations? I know I don't feel like I hit 2 every day. I would say maybe 1.5, because sometimes I'll take I have to do 10-minute visualization anyway every day. So I kind of use that sometimes. And if I don't extend it, then it's not my meditation. How about you guys?
Yeah, for me, it's hard for me for some reason. I don't know why, to like consistently hit it in the morning, but the evening time, I definitely get it. So I just have to get better at that. Because I think for me, and this ties into question 3 from the excavation questions, how do you feel about letting go? And there's just something about the start of my day. Well, I need to get this done first, right?
Mm,
So like that's something I need to work on.
yeah.
For me, I feel like I was consistent up until I think it was last night. I realized at 10 o'clock, like I didn't do my meditation at night. And then this morning I went for a run instead of my normal like yoga and meditation practice. My mind is often busy, like right when I wake up in the morning, and it drives me insane. So like I need my meditation in the morning to calm me and bring me back down. I have very active dreams too. So I think it like when I wake up, my brain is just going and I don't even know why. But yeah, I really enjoy my practice in the morning. So I almost always stick to that. But the evening one is the one that I need to make sure I incorporate more.
Yeah, I do want to also remind people that you can do like walking meditations. So sometimes it's a lot easier for me. I realized last night, because now I have a patio that I can do my outdoor workout in, but I was like, no, I really want to walk away from everything right now. So I realized that there's something like really meditative for me about walking, because I have always the same consistent pace. I know exactly to what corner I walk and exactly which one I walk, like the path to come back. And if I deviate, even if I cross the street too early, then my timing is off. And so for me, it's very, very precise moments where I have to be doing something. And that's kind of meditative, kind of like if you sit and you crochet, it's like that same rhythm. It's very cathartic. So doing that as you walk as well. So Renee, next time, maybe if you do jog, you can turn that into a jogging meditation and connect your strides to your breath, like 3 strides, inhale, 3 strides, exhale, and then start to just notice things around you, sounds, sights, smells, and just connect to your senses while you're walking or jogging.
No, that is very true. I'll definitely try that.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's hard though when I'm going fast because then my mind wants to go faster too. So But
I guess
yeah,
I don't,
definitely like try and bring that down.
do you run fast?
I don't necessarily run fast, but any kind of fast movement is
Okay.
like aggravating. So, it brings in that movement and yeah. So
Yeah.
my
Well,
mind is
maybe
often.
you run less and take a walk to cool down.
Yes, no, very true. Yeah. And today was just like a run walk type thing that I
Okay.
did, but I needed more movement today, like to get out.
Yeah, nice.
Mhm.
Well, the great thing about this is we have every day to keep trying to be better than yesterday. So, and that's just life in general, not just the 40 days. So the excavation questions, Jamaica, you kind of hit on them a little bit. Does anybody want to share stuff about those questions? Jamaica?
Okay, I'll go first. Well, just in general, the theme was talking about what rocks do we feel like we're holding on to. And for me, for some weird reason, even if I know I didn't cause someone to mistreat me, it still bothers me because it's like, why didn't I not see the sign that this person was going to, mistreat me, And so there's this sense of control of like, was I not being present enough? How come I didn't call it out on them? And sometimes I just wasn't able to defend or protect myself. And so I would say it's hard for me sometimes to let go of feeling persecuted. And one thing that I want to commit to is really just saying, that issue is with that person, because like I believe in the concept of energy and energy transfers. And so like as humans, we don't like to feel negative energies. And unfortunately, people try to dispel that through how they treat other people. And so I try to keep that in mind, and then just overall, I'm kind of a restless person. So like letting go just in general, as far as relaxing is hard, but I find that I am getting better at it. So.
Good. Renee.
It was good to do the questions and actually, because we all have things we're not letting go of, and to actually like write them down and acknowledge them and say, hey, I see you now. I see this rock that I'm carrying versus knowing it's down there in a bag somewhere, but like actually looking at it and acknowledging it. It was really good for me to do that and actually write down. I wrote down a couple of pages of just stuff, that I'm like, okay, these are things I need to work on and acknowledge in my life. So
Yeah.
Nice.
I had some stuff come up for me too. And it's as simple as like unhad conversations. And it's like really that's it. Just have a conversation. And this is usually something that I always think about at the end of every year anyway. So November to me is like my reset month. And then I take December to set myself up for the next year that I want to have. And a lot of that often comes with conversations that I want to revisit with people from the year that like maybe I didn't feel had a resolution or didn't come to full closure. That's how David and I started talking again last year. I was like, oh, I need to have a conversation with him because I didn't feel like we left things in any direction. And that turned into what it is now, which is great. So a conversation that I actually thought was going to go a totally different way led me on a different path. So you never know the power that is behind letting go of something or facing the rock that you have in front of you. So I look forward to 2 conversations I have to have. And hopefully I can do that this week before 40 days, before the next week meeting. And maybe one will be a highlight, maybe one will be a low light, or maybe they'll both be highlights. I'm open to whatever it may be. Cool. Anything else for the laws that we went over, which were, somebody remind me. Laws 7 and 8, right? Is the rocks, right? Remove the rocks and relax with what is.
I really liked how he said how we carry our emotional lives in our hips. I thought that was really cool he said that, because I remember when I was walking from the grocery store, you know, I could feel my hips were like more freer, you know, and I also noticed that day when I felt that sensation, like I felt more happier. So I thought that was really cool to learn that.
Mm-hmm. Nice. Is there any part of the reading that you guys maybe highlighted that you wanted to bring up and share? I have a part in the Relax with What Is, where it says, sometimes people ask me why power yoga classes are so challenging. I've learned that intense physical challenge allows students to see in the moment how much more effective relaxing is than struggling. It's about bypassing your resistance. When you're at your most tired, you don't have the energy to resist. You relax, you stop forcing, essentially because there's no other choice. And then suddenly you discover that the source of grace was there waiting for you all along, willing and happy to help you discover a strength and wisdom that you in fact already have. The moment you stop forcing a result, you develop a mental and muscular poise under pressure. And something I like about that, and that's where he goes into talking about hip opening poses as well. But I always try to remind people that downward facing dog is a relaxing pose. And people get so tense in it that they don't see it as relaxing. But if you're pushing them through like multiple, maybe sun salutation Bs, and you just keep going and going and finally meet me in downward facing dog, and they're like, oh. You know, they can finally relax and they don't think they can. They think only child's pose, but downward facing dog should also be a relaxing pose. And that's what that section kind of made me think about. And then also how much I want to work people out so that when they get into Shavasana, they can actually relax. Yeah. Anything else from the readings? Any more nuggets? All right. So moving forward, we are going into don't rush the process and be true to yourself. I feel like this is so perfect. I have lots of stars in these chapters. I feel like it's very appropriate for what I'm experiencing right now as I move into this new space. And then also, yeah, just like not rushing the process. I don't have to be out to the end of the month, like letting things be where they're at. And then everything, it makes me think that like everything doesn't have to be perfect all the time, but you do have to, like the next law, you do have to stay true to yourself. So how can you like work with people around you and still stay who you are and not fold or bend or change for somebody else? I'm open to suggestions and tips from you guys. Have you guys done any of the look ahead for the reading?
I have not looked ahead yet.
Okay. There is a very nice place, and it's always the ending, right, Renee, of all the chapters where he says just like magical things. So towards the end of is it relax? Don't rush the process. Kind of towards that last page. In our efforts to do more and get wherever we want to go faster, we forget that we simply cannot rush the process and still expect to be really successful at anything. True growth is not cheap. Emotional maturity and seasoning come through an intimate understanding of the process of life, the love of the journey, and the depth of the subtlety that is achieved through a commitment to patience. And I feel like I have the patience in life in general and how I move through things, but I can definitely stay open to not trying to go fast at things. I have lots of stars in the be true to yourself. So you guys, I think you're going to enjoy the reading. One part says, be true to yourself means looking within to discover what you know in your heart to be right and then acting on it. It does not mean following every last whim or urge that you might have. That is just selfishness in disguise. It means being true to your values and morals. It means being honest in all things, knowing the truth, walking by that truth, and living by that truth, regarding truth. And then it goes through a quote that Gandhi said. That makes me feel also stronger and better about the conversations I have to have. And so when I do go into removing those rocks, I'll do my best to just remember what my truth is and stick to that and be myself and know that I'm making my choices and decisions based off of how well I know myself and what's right for my life as I develop as a human. Yay. Do you guys have anything that we want to chat about? So this next week we are increasing all of our practices. So our yoga practice for week 5 is now 75 minutes, so an hour and 15 minutes. That's the typical length of a hatha class. So if you guys find any hatha yoga flows online, they're typically going to be 75 minutes. But you can also just go by the book. Renee, I believe, is going to be recording a flow for us as well. I'm excited about that.
I'm going to do the book flow.
What's that?
I was planning to do the book flow just so we have like all the postures and stuff.
Great. Yep, that works for me. So this week you're going to be, since we're slowly adding healthy foods back, concentrate on high mineral foods. Some foods that are packed with lots of nutrients, they have it in a different color in the text. It has whey protein, but if you're non-dairy, you probably don't want to have that. Seaweed, leafy greens, nuts, fish, root vegetables, tofu, broths, and fresh vegetables or fruit juice. It says, as you eat these life-giving foods, take a few moments to think about your bones. We hardly ever practice gratitude for a part of our body unless it's just recovered from an injury, but your bones do so much for you. And it talks about things that rob our bones and our bodies of minerals, and people might be surprised to know that coffee is on that list, as well as refined sugar, soda, and soft drinks, alcohol, smoking, too much salt, too much protein even, anger, fear, and reactivity. So if you remember 2 weeks back, we started to focus on our reactivity and trying to be less reactive to things. Well, we probably didn't think that that was also helping our bones be stronger. So I find that to be really cool and interesting how anger, fear, reactivity can affect your bones. And I'm going to sit and think about that for a while on how and why that happens. It just sounds really interesting to me. Any questions about our eating for this week? Okay. And then centering meditation is going to be 25 minutes this week. I thought it was going to be a half hour, so this is good. 25 minutes. And the book also guides you through. It's a really short reading for the meditation. So one sentence that just stood out to me was, don't follow your thoughts into the stream of dream stuff. Like really just allow yourself to be in the moment, but don't strain, don't judge yourself, and don't analyze why thoughts are coming up. Just acknowledge. It's like, oh, a bird, right? So like it just flew by. And then you have 3 excavation questions that are each multi-questions per question. How are you guys doing? It's interesting. Okay, actually, Renee, your partner, Laura, I believe, is not participating in this round anymore of 40 days. And then Jamerica, I got a text from Lauren that she wasn't going to be able to this morning to be in this class, but she's still doing the program as much as she can. She's officially in Washington now. So she drove over with her mom, but things are kind of iffy with grandma and family. So just know that I'm here to check in with, and Renee, I'll be your buddy. And then I haven't heard from Yamaya or Gustavo. And I know Vic is going through his own stuff right now. So I'm trying to be everyone's buddy. But you guys can also check in with each other. You guys have consistently been really great with showing up to the meetings, and then also posting in the group, which is all perfect. So just keep doing what you're doing. I think you guys are doing great, and I can tell that you're both very invested in this. Renee, I appreciate your post about the food and encouraging people to join. And Jamerica, I love watching you grow through this, and everything you're realizing and experiencing. I see that it's part of your growth through the 40 days, and I appreciate that you're being invested in this.
Thank you.
Any acknowledgements that you'd like to make today?
I just want to say thank you to everyone for being here. And Renee, I really like your post, and like you're always just like you bring your full self to it, you know.
She's pretty rad.
Thank you, Jamerica. And I too enjoy how you're interacting and just growing and sharing. And oh, I don't know what I just did on here. I completely
We still see you.
Okay, you guys went away for a second. There you are. But yeah, seriously, like I really appreciate and acknowledge and can see you guys, see you, Jamerica, you are growing so much, and you're putting in the work, and this isn't easy. You think it's easy. You're like, oh, 40 days, I can read, I can do this book plan, but it's a lot. So yes,
Yeah.
give yourself credit and acknowledge and be proud. So yeah. And thank you, Michelle, for leading this and keeping us motivated and going and all that.
I was gonna save this for later, but I'm happy if you guys want to be like co-leaders for the January version of this. And I won't be able, since it's going to be a bigger group, I don't think everyone's going to be able to speak and share. So if you guys want to be there as co-leaders and maybe share, be conversation starters in the Facebook group, or maybe conversation starters in the Zoom calls. I know people will always be shy. And so just having my little seeds of support that can help bring conversation to the game. I would love that. If you guys are interested, we can chat about that later. You don't have to make a decision today, but want to add that little nugget to your brain so you can think about that for 2021. Okay, well, I don't want to take anyone's time just because I can. So if there's nothing else, let's do our recommitments for the week. I'll start. My name is Michelle, and this week I abstain from caffeine, alcohol, tobacco, and sugar, and I will be as efficient and lean as possible with all of my moving and find wonderful solutions for all the things that I can't bring with me. And I look forward to also letting go of all the rocks that are holding me back so that I can continue to grow and be my true self. And Renee.
I am Renee, and I am recommitting to giving up caffeine, alcohol, tobacco, and sugar for this coming week. And I will continue to work on committing to sundown with my electronics, as well as committing to the judgments of self, releasing those, and the negative self-talk, pushing myself a little bit out of my comfort zone and allowing myself to grow in the pain like we have been learning. So yeah.
Thank you. Jamerica.
Hi, I'm Jamerica, and I recommit to cats, not partaking in those. And I also recommit to not engaging in negative self-talk, and a new recommitment is just making sure I dedicate time to my morning meditations.
Thank you, Jamerica.
Mm-hmm. Thank you
all, and just continue to be open and sharing and being supportive of each other. I'm super proud of each of you. Thanks so much.
Thank you guys. Have a good day, weekend.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Have a blessed weekend. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.